Hi everyone, so today we're going to be looking at the theme grounding. So we're going to be thinking about working from the feet up, working with some nice toe work, which always confuses people and makes people pull really funny faces. But yeah, that's going to be our focus today, thinking about grounding, thinking about bringing us back down to earth, because there's too many things going on at the moment. So I thought it would be quite nice to kind of focus on relaxing and focusing and bringing us back into our bodies and out of our busy minds. So as always, we'll start sitting comfortably, so grab anything you might need to make sure you're comfortable, blocks, cushions, blankets, whatever you need, and we'll get started. So as always, take whichever position is most comfortable for you, whether that's sitting cross-legged or kneeling or legs out in front, whatever is good for you. And just make sure that you can really lift the spine nice and tall. If your hips are feeling quite tight, then definitely raise your body up a little, raise your pelvis up so you can really let go across the pelvis. And as always, gently close your eyes. Starting this 30-minute session just with a little bit of breath work, just connecting in with how your body is feeling. And obviously having a little look at any tension, any stiffness, be it physical, emotional. Just having a look at what's going on with your body today. Not thinking about comparing yourself with any other class or any other person, or just no comparing needed. So keeping the focus inside. As always, if it's not comfortable to have your eyes closed, then just find a point down on the floor, but still make sure that your head is lifting, not that you sort of rounded the neck all the way down. So just point your eyes diagonally to a point on the floor. If not, as always, keep the eyes closed. So just noticing how the body feels, maybe taking a little scan down through the right side of your body. And then scanning down through the left side of your body. Just taking a couple of breaths and observing, noticing if there's any stiffness, any restriction. Maybe that's something new, maybe it's something old and chronic. Again, just observing, not thinking about any of these as areas of the body that are problems, but more in ways in which we can learn that our bodies are talking to us and telling us things that sometimes we like to ignore. So just taking your time to connect in with those areas, wherever. If you have no tension, even better, but if you have any of those areas of tension, obviously the most common ones are the neck and shoulders. Maybe it's deep into your pelvis, any problems around any of the joints, just observing where they are for you. Each person will have different areas and different levels of pain or discomfort. So just observing where they are. And again, so maybe this is coming from any injuries, but again, maybe it's coming from emotional stress. So just thinking about how we can learn from ways in which we want to support the body, working with it, not against it. So looking at these aches and pains or stiffness as little signals of what we need to, how we can work with the body. And so finding those areas of the body and maybe just having a little scan. Let's say your right shoulder is really stiff today, and just having a little scan round the area that is also hurting. So just observing the surrounding muscles, noticing if there's any stiffness or relayed tension in those muscles. Just observing them, being aware where they are and how you can then use this awareness within your daily movements, but also with your practice today. Again, thinking about these areas not as problems, but as signals, just kind of giving us a little yell, bringing us awareness as to what's going on with the body, or maybe a little deeper what's going on with the mind. And then let's take 5 breaths. I want to think about really drawing in length through each inhalation. And really breathing out any heaviness or tension with each exhalation. And keep feeling that length rolling in through the spine, the chest opening, the shoulder blades engaging to support that space through the front of the body. Keep breathing out nice and slowly. Think about the control of the breath, gently breathing all the way in and breathing all the way out. And again, we'll take another 5 breaths. I want you to think about really breathing down towards the belly, so feeling like the belly can expand as fully as it can, and that breath is moving deep down to the sort of pelvic bowl. So we're really taking that breath a little deeper. So if you feel like you can work with counting, then count the breath, breathe in for as long as you can without feeling like you're overworking your lungs or your surrounding muscles, and then as always exhaling for the same count. Everyone will have different lengths of breath they feel comfortable with, so you work with your own individual breath, your own counting, I was going to say counting system, but anyway, count however you like. And keeping on breathing, keeping on lengthening, and as you do so, still find that length coming in through the inhalation, and really letting go again from the top of the head, down through the neck, shoulders, out through the fingers. Down through the torso, pelvis, and out through the toes. And on your next exhalation, slowly bringing your awareness back into the room, gently opening your eyes, rolling towards the back of your pelvis, and then pressing your feet down to the ground, bringing the feet in line with the hips, and just press your hands onto your knees. So just to bring a little bit of action in through the pelvis, the core muscles, and your feet, I want you to think about the idea that we're going to try and stand up. Don't stand up. If you can do that, that's great. But don't stand up. Think about the muscles you have to use in order to stand. So press the hands against the knees and push against the feet. And you have to kind of lean forwards and lift up through your pelvic floor, abdominal, spine. Keep engaging, and then as you exhale, release. Soften and let go. Don't think about having to stand up anymore, just relax. And we're going to do this 5 times. So each time, inhale, press into the feet. It'll be a small movement. You won't see anything. All of this work is much stronger, deeper inside. Press into those heels, into the toes. Squeeze your core. And exhale, soften, gently releasing. Again, take another deep breath to relax, and then on your next breath, press into the feet, the big toes, engage your core, your spinal muscles, open your chest, squeeze those elbows in, imagine you're going to stand up a little more, and release. 2 more times, pressing into the feet, softening again, give the head and neck a little shake, give maybe the ankles a little release. And let's do 2 more. So press against the knees, press against the floor with the feet, with the bum. Squeeze your core, open across your chest. Push, 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 push. And release. 1 last time. Gently on the next breath. Press against the feet, the big toes, the little toes, the heels, the balls of the feet. Engage, engage. And soften. Slowly releasing. And bring those feet just a little closer, wrap those knees together, bring your hands round, shoulders away from your ears and round into your spine. 1 more breath, breathing into the back of the body, feel that length rolling and rippling up the vertebrae, and gently lift your head, looking forwards. So now slowly, we're going to come round onto all fours, gently coming into your hands, spread your fingers, press into your knees, onto your toes. Flexing the feet so you're now engaging through the feet. Gently engage through your spine and lift up to a soft downward dog, just beginning to lengthen through the back of the body. Slowly pull one heel down at a time. Keep it really soft, unless you've already done lots of downward dogs, but just making sure you can really feel that space come in through the back of the legs, through the back of the body. Kind of rocking and rolling through the toes, just beginning to warm up those joints of the toes and the balls of the feet. And again, playing around with maybe as you push the heel down, lifting the toes, just the toes off the floor. Starting to just really power up the engagement of the muscles, the energy around the base of the feet. And then gently soften and slowly walk your hands towards your toes. Having a really nice soft bend. Again, have the knees as deeply bent as you need to, but still think about pulling up through the pelvis, rooting down through your heels and toes, and just swing round from right to left. Softening here. Couple more breaths.
breaths. Really push through the floor. Feel that space releasing through the back of the neck as the neck lengthens, the belly is strong, supporting that little bit more space coming gently in through the back of the legs, either one at a time or keeping both legs straight. And as you exhale, bend those knees even deeper and roll your spine really nice and slowly all the way up. Lifting up through the front of the chest and coming to the centre of the mat. So standing hip width apart. Now the fun bit where you get to squeeze your hands and make your face go really squishy. So we're going to be focusing on lifting the toes and dropping the toes. So we're really wanting to ground down through the feet. So firstly, before we go anywhere, just have a little shift down through your weight, down through your feet even. And just kind of rocking and rolling, noticing if you tend to maybe roll into the inside of the feet or shift to the outside, or maybe have one foot turned all the way out and push into your pelvis. So just bring your awareness into aligning your pelvis, knees, heels, your toes kind of pointing forwards. You'll find that the big toes will be pointing ever so slightly in, maybe like by 0.5 centimetre, to make sure that the little toes and heels are in a slightly straighter line. So just having a play with that, and again, maybe just bend the knees, because once we've brought the toes in, the knees kind of want to come in. So we're going to bend them, roll them, so they're coming now in line with the feet. So they go in, roll them out, so you engage through your inner thighs, through the front of the thighs, and then straighten those legs a little more. It might feel a little bit weird at first. Now, gently close your eyes. If you feel a little wobbly here, obviously keep your eyes open. If not, keeping them closed, palms facing forwards. And just let your wrists be soft. I want you to just think about the toes. So the main thing with keeping your eyes closed is you won't have the tendency to look down and see what you're doing. I want you to think about what's happening away from the visuals. So keep lifting the toes. All of the toes are lifting. Stretch them up off the floor. Keep drawing up through your inner thighs. Engage your abdominals. Open across your chest. Keep lifting those toes as much as you can. At the same time, think about spreading them apart like you do with your fingers. But again, keep your hands completely relaxed. Keep your face completely soft. And on your next exhalation, plant the toes all the way down. And just have a little wiggle forwards and backwards this time. Again, without falling. Finding that length rolling up through the center of the body. Keep the spine long, the chest open, shoulders releasing. Keep moving, again, closing your eyes, just rocking and rolling through the center of your feet. So you're really kind of engaging through the pelvis. So now, from here, gently lift nice and high, all of the toes again. Keep your eyes closed if you can, and just have a go at putting your big toes down. Keep the rest of the toes lifted, keep pushing those big toes down, keep lifting up through your kneecaps, through your pelvis, through your core, and then lift all of the toes up. Breathing again, gently press just the big toes down, stretch the other toes even, stretch the other toes, so then lifting nice and high, just those big toes are pressing down, you're firing up through the thighs, through the pelvic floor, the fingers and wrists in your face are relaxed, and release, rest all of the toes down, softening here, taking a couple of breaths, just noticing how easy or hard that felt for you. And now on your next inhalation, lifting all the toes again. And now just want you to try and think about putting your little toes down. They may or may not touch. They may touch, but with the rest of the toes coming with you. But just having a play. Again, try and keep your face from kind of squeezing and concentrating. The tongue will probably pop out, whatever, you might also kind of clench your fist. But think about softening the upper torso. You're just taking that focus down to the little toes. Lift the little toes. And drop the little toes. Lift the little toes, drop the little toes. Lift and release, pressing all of the toes down. Give the knees a little shake, give the pelvis and shoulders a little shake at the neck, pressing down, bend the knees a little, and then lift nice and high up through the pelvis, palms facing forwards again. Keep those eyes closed, or close them again if you need to open them. And now let's lift all of the toes. Soften your neck and shoulders. Keep all of the toes lifted, but push your big toe down. Lift your big toe. Press your little toe down. Lift your little toes. Press your big toes. Lift your big toes. Press your little toes. Keep going. Lift your little toes. Press your big toes. Now, keep your big toes down.
Keep your middle toes up and have a go at trying to just put your little toes down. I can feel that mine are not doing that today. So don't worry, it doesn't matter, just having a play around with how you can find those areas. Root your brain down towards your toes and your toes down towards the floor, and then press all of the toes down. Soften the knees and hips, and again just feel how nice it is to let go of the toes, but also now that you're completely rooted down through the feet, you feel a really nice strong connection because everything's relaxed down on the floor instead of lifting and tense. So think about releasing and relaxing a little more. Open across the front of the body, palms facing forwards. Inhale, arms high, root down through the feet, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, root down through the feet, lift high, palms together. Exhale, soften down. One more time. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, bring those palms down in front of you. Now, let's shuffle those feet together. Again, just maintaining that same structure with the feet. The feet are engaging, the toes are really in contact, and now bend the knees just a little. Again, making sure that they're not kind of clenching really far in. The knees are still in line with the feet. Tuck your tailbone gently, so you're kind of pushing it down instead of opening everything forwards. And then squeeze through your core, open across your chest. Having those palms still facing, so the wrists are working, the shoulders, the spine, the core, the knees, the thighs, everything is engaging. Lean ever so slightly into your right leg and just lift your left leg behind you, bending a little deeper. Just focusing on building a little more strength up from your foot through to your ankle now. Holding here, focus on one point in front of you. I'd recommend not having the eyes closed for this point. Wobble as much as you need to. And from here now, trying to keep the knees in the same position. I'm going to keep the foot lifting and lengthen the foot in front. And then pull the foot back. So again, from the side. Knees coming down, spine lifting, knees coming back, and then without touching the floor if you can, engage and come forwards. Drawing back. Keep moving forwards and backwards, keep hugging in through the center, keep drawing up through your pelvic floor. If you feel like you can work a little lower, start working a little lower, bending a little deeper, opening across your chest. 2 more times, keep breathing. And then slowly release, lift nice and tall, release your hands. Pressing down through the floor, we'll come to the other side. Bend your knees, tuck your tailbone, press your palms. Lift high to begin with so you don't go too deep. And begin to bend the leg behind you. Keep those thighs in line without kind of pulling back or lifting up. Breathe gently here and then flex that foot. See if you can shift it through, forwards and lengthen. Pulling back again, just playing around as you push down through the foot that you're balancing. Lifting and lengthening out of the ankle, opening across the chest, squeezing the core. Again, if you feel you can go a little deeper, start to bend a little deeper, slowly shifting from one leg to the other. Feel that warmth warming up the body from the feet all the way up to the top of the head. Couple more times. Breathe. And then gently release. Press down through both feet. Soften your knees. Release your hands down by your side, closing your eyes. 3 breaths. Push the floor away. Soften your neck and jaw. And 1 more breath. As you exhale, gently release. Open your eyes. Standing hip width apart again. Keeping the feet really pointing forwards, bend the knees again, bring your hands onto your hips, tuck your tailbone, scoop up through your abdominals and reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Again, making sure you're not kind of hugging your head, make space across the front of your chest. Keep lifting the spine. And again, as always, avoid kind of doing this sort of real strong arch to get into the position. Think about the length you want to bring into the spine, the core strength. The arms might just lift in front or a little lower. You might be able to take them up, but again, don't kind of really overarch the spine. Think about this strength you want to bring in through the center. Keep pressing. Lean into your heels so you have to fire up the thighs, pelvic floor and abdominals a little more and warm that body up a little more. Feel that strength come from your feet all the way up again to the top of your head. Drop a little lower if you've got a little more space. 2 more breaths. Soften your nose, soften your nose, soften your neck. 1 more time, release, lift all the way up and release your hands. Give the shoulders a wriggle, give the knees a wriggle, the ankles a little shake. Pressing down through the feet, palms facing forwards. Again, just take a couple of breaths, eyes closed or focus on the point in front of you. Slow the breath down and observe that strength, that gentleness we brought in from the feet all the way up. And as you exhale, slowly release, opening your eyes, shifting your weight again into your right hip, and just move ever so slightly over to the right so you can now lift the left leg up. So again, there's no kind of pushing right the way into the hip. You want to still keep this focus of the pelvis being squared, your tailbone tucking down, your abdominal strong. If you need to keep this balancing leg bent, then bend it a little, and stay here. And keep focusing on that point. You need to think about this idea of hugging into the center to help with your balance, but also don't let your eyes kind of wander off and think about everything. The idea with focus really helps with our balance. So keep thinking about engaging through the center, focus on that point and breathe. Now lift this left leg a little higher, bring your hands onto your hips, and then slowly rotate your hip out to the side. So without kind of twisting your whole body, you're just thinking about opening through the pelvis. So it might be that you need to take your leg lower, and we'll come into tree position. Nice, gentle class today, just focusing on balance and the feet. So you can bring the feet down, never against the knee because you don't want to push against it, either below or above. You can use your hand to bring the foot up towards the inner thigh, opening the pelvis, lengthening that knee away. Keep the torso facing forwards. And again, this balancing leg can be as straight or as not as you feel comfortable. Keep lifting, whether you have the knee bent or not. Really draw up through the center of your body and press your palms together, wrists pushing down, elbows lifting, shoulder blades engaging. Breathing gently here. Notice that there's a little bit of tension maybe building in your ankle. Really think about pushing the floor away and lifting through and out of the ankle towards the knee. Focus on the breath. Again, if you need to fall, have a little fall. If you want to wobble, wobble. If you, see, I want to tip sideways. If you need to move, move as much as you need. Come back and have another little go. Wherever feels right for you, keep focusing on the breath. Keep thinking about how this affects the rest of the body. Keep finding that point in front of you and breathe. One more breath. Let's release as you exhale. Hands down, soften, and give that poor ankle a little shake. Give it a release. And press down through both feet. Again, lift both sides of your toes. No, that doesn't make sense. Lift all of your toes up and then drop them all the way down. And now we'll go to the other side. So shift your weight into your left leg, ever so slightly. Again, still pelvis is squared. And then lift the right knee up. Tuck your tailbone, scoop your belly, open your chest. Bring your hands onto your hips again so you can just notice if you're kind of moving every inch of your body, and think about this idea of coming back into the center to help with your balance. Again, this might be enough with your balance. If you hate balance, then just start by lifting your leg. If you feel you can take it further, then again, either have the knee a little higher and take the knee out, or drop it down, foot against the ankle, calf, never against the knee, or up towards the inner thigh. Again, avoid pushing into the hips, so keep drawing back, so you're really lifting through the center. This right knee is coming out to the side as much as you can, but again, without twisting the torso off to one side. Keep pressing down through the feet. Remember that groundedness, that rootedness through the toes, the balls of your feet, the heel. Draw up through the arches, through the kneecaps, through the pelvis, through the chest, through the chin, to the top of the head. Oof, no balance on this side. Moving again as much or as little as you need to. Find your focus, find your breath, and again bring your palms together in front of you. Whether you have the pose or not, working on focusing, using the breath. Lengthening again, the ankle maybe starts to grip a little, the toes. Keep thinking about pushing the foot down, lifting out of the ankle, lifting out of the knee. And breathe. Find a little stillness in your mind within this position if you can. Find that strength from the feet all the way up to the top of your head. Lengthen your neck, soften your shoulders. One last breath. Lifting out of the feet again and again. And as you exhale, release. Hands out to the side, soften, release your legs, and give those ankles a little shake, a little rotation. Pressing down through the feet. Again, give the hips a shake, the shoulders a shake, and just bounce the hips and the knees. Press down through the floor, open across your chest. One long, slow breath here, and we'll work down towards the relaxation. So pressing the feet away. Really find that length through the ankles, through the shins, through the knees. Gently press your palms together, lean into your tiptoes and lift your heels off the floor, stretching the front of the feet and engaging through your arches. One more breath, keep lifting just a little higher, engage through your core, open across your chest. And exhale, press your heels down, lean into your heels and lift your toes. And exhale, plant all of those toes down. And then gently soften, bend the knees as much as you need to and fold forwards, lengthening through the back of the spine. Pressing down through your hands, slowly step back to downward dog. Really pull those heels down again, bend the knees if you need to, or keep those legs starting to straighten. Give the head a little shake, root through your hands and your heels. And on your next exhalation, slowly drop down onto your knees. Pressing onto the tops of your feet, we'll just have a little foot stretch here. So bring the legs together. Bring your hands just either side of your knees, press onto your fingertips. Press onto the front of your feet, look forwards, and then draw up through your belly, starting to round your spine a little, and then just lift the knees. So you're kind of stretching through the upper back. It might be more comfortable to keep the spine nice and straight, but if you want to kind of release the neck a little, round the spine and lift the knees as much as you can, at the same time engaging up through the inner thighs, pelvic floor, and abdominals. Keep stretching those toes, the tops of the feet, and then exhale, gently release. Now this time flex the toes, so you're pressing, and lean back onto your heels, lift the spine, open across your chest, just stretch the toes the other way. Take a couple of breaths here, notice if maybe the little toes aren't really touching, see if you can push them down, the big toes, the middle toes. And then gently release, slowly. Opening the knees a little wider, pressing onto the tops of the feet, and we'll rest in child's pose, dropping the forehead down, arms behind you. Of course, if child's pose is not comfortable, then lie on your spine. If you can work with child's pose, then do. Grab any supports you may need. If you need to release have a blanket underneath your bum or maybe underneath your feet to release the stretch in the ankles. And just rounding very gently into the spine, letting the head hang, letting the whole body breathe gently here. Keep maintaining that child's position and just let the whole body soften. Keep your eyes closed if you can. And focus on slowing the breath back down. As always, these little half-an-hour classes tend to run away, but just taking that bit of time to connect in, to root down through your feet and work that strength all the way up through the rest of your body. And just observing this bit of time we've spent on the breath, on the body. Keep allowing the breath to slow you down, to work a little deeper and connect with the nervous system. As we relax, release, and let go from the top of the head, through the face, down through the neck, and across the shoulders. Releasing down through the arms, elbows, wrists, and hands. Down through the spine, ribs, chest, and belly. The whole of the torso softening. Releasing down through the pelvis as you let go of your hips, glutes, pelvic floor. The pelvis softening down to the legs, upper legs, knees, lower legs, ankles. The whole of the feet and the toes release. Feeling that strength, length and focus we brought into the mind, body and breath. And taking time to listen to your body's needs, learning how we can work to support the body instead of hinder. Taking one more long, slow breath here. If you want to stay a little longer in relaxation, then please do. If not, keeping the eyes closed. Very gently roll up through your spine, coming up to a comfortable sitting position. And trying to make the movements small so you can stay relaxed and gentle. Open the chest, relax your face, arms, legs, lengthen your spine, and we'll close the session with 3 breaths, counting how long you inhale for, exhaling for the same count. As always, thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Hope your feet feel nice and strong and your face is relaxed after the beginning toe work. But yeah, enjoy and thanks again.